So I have a confession to make. Some of my favorite travel memories don't live on my phone, they're not in the photo books I make, or even the travel home videos that I spend hours putting together. They're right here in these simple notebooks. Back in 2023, during our very first Europe trip with our kids, we started this tradition almost by accident. I had brought a blank notebook on that trip, literally a $1 notebook from Walmart, but we never used it on our trip. So on that plane ride home, I sat down with Haley and I had her list out all of her favorite things from each of the 4 cities that we visited during our trip. And just like that, the travel journal was born. And now we've done it for every single adventure that we've had since. And today I wanted to show you the absolute easiest travel memory hack for parents and how you can get it started too. So before we jump into the how, I wanted to start about talking about the why with these travel journals. As parents, we feel this immense pressure to document everything that our kids do, especially since we carry around these little tiny rectangles in our pocket that make it so easy to take videos and pictures of everything that they do. We take thousands of pictures, thousands of videos, and then they either live on our phones or we start a scrapbook that we never really quite finish. But what I love about these journals is that they're imperfect. It's not something that I spend hours and hours working on. There are no scrapbook supplies, no trips to the craft stores, just me and my kids sitting down to record our family memories. Like that really cool playground we saw in Switzerland, or the tiny baby birds they obsessed about everywhere in Italy. So if you take nothing else away from this video, my point is to you that it doesn't matter what it looks like, but that you take the time to sit down and record those memories with your kids, because I know none of you will regret it years from now. So now we're going to talk about the setup. The best part about these journals is that you do not need a craft store's worth of supplies to get them done. All you need is a simple notebook, your favorite pen, and one completely optional but super fun item for your list is a photo printer. So we have this portable HP Sprocket photo printer that we've had since about 2018 or 2019, and it prints pictures on the go that you can just stick right into your journal without having to go out and pick up your prints from a local pharmacy. But like I said, that photo printer is just optional. You can very easily send your pictures to the local pharmacy, pick them up, trim them down to a smaller size, and glue them right into your notebook. So now let's get into the how. How do we get these journals done? When do we find the time to do them? And I've spent a lot of time trying to decide, do I bring it on the trip? Do I do it when we get home? And for me, the possibility of losing or damaging some of these notebooks is just not worth it for me. So I leave the notebooks at home, and this is something that we do almost entirely when we get back from our trip. Now, occasionally, if we have a travel day where we are going from city to city, I will have them start listing off some of their favorite activities from the city that we had just visited. But for the most part, this is something that we sit down and we do when we get home. The first thing I do is just prompt them by asking, what was your favorite thing that we did in Paris or London or Rome? And I give them a few minutes to think without any prompting or any sort of information from me, just to see what they come up with off the top of their head. If they're still struggling after a minute or two, I have them sit down with me and we scroll through my photos from the trip and see if that jogs their memory and inspires them to pick something that was the favorite part of their trip. So the way that I have these journals laid out based on the size of our pictures and how big I write, we usually end up with 4 memories per page. But if there's this particular city where we spent a lot of time in and made a lot of memories in, sometimes we will do 2 pages so they have 8 memories for that city. But for me, the goal is to get at least 4 memories from every city so that we can fill up a full page. And although we have this system going right now, I know that these journals are going to grow and change with them. Haley is now finishing up her year in kindergarten. She's learning to write, she's learning to read, and I know that one day she's going to want to take these journals over herself. So for now, it's something that I mostly do for her with the collaboration with her for her memories, but I know in the very near future, this is something that she's going to be able to start writing and completing all on her own. So again, lean into the imperfect. If you have an older child that wants to do these on their own, have them write in there, have them write a whole paragraph and then put a couple pictures at the bottom. It can look like whatever you want it to look like, and it can be different from every trip. Or you just keep it really simple and you do 4 memories from every trip and you move on. And again, the biggest thing that I want to inspire you to do is just get started. Whether you've already been on 5 trips with your kids and you haven't done anything yet, or you're getting ready to start your first trip with your kids, get a notebook, make it really simple, and write down those memories. So 2 more quick things that I want to mention before we move on is that, like I said, when I started, it was this cheap $1 notebook from Walmart. It was just a brown parchment paper notebook, and I put this scrapbook paper that I happen to have on the front and wrote a pretty title on it. Because we have filled this up almost all the way to the end for Christmas this year, the girls were each gifted their own travel notebook. So they each have one. It says travel journal on it. It has their names written up at the top. And so we have upgraded to a slightly nicer journal. You do not have to do this. I could have very easily just stuck with the ones from Walmart, but this is something that I've really grown to love, and the girls love too, that I figured it was worth investing a little bit to get some more personalized notebooks, because I know this is something that we're going to continue doing. So regardless of whether you spend $1 or $30 on your notebook, it doesn't really matter, just get started. And then the one last thing I want to talk about is that this is the one I started with Haley on our trip to Paris. Haley was 3.5 years old at the time, and Delaney was 11 months old. And since then, we've been on 5 additional international trips. We also have things from short day trips or weekend trips that we've done around here, but this is filled with all of Haley's memories. And my biggest regret is that I didn't start one for Delaney at the time. Even though she was 11 months old, she couldn't talk to me, she couldn't tell me what her memories were, but I do kind of wish that I had made one from my perspective of what she enjoyed on the trip, because I feel like it would be really cool to have a much larger memory base for her now. But like I said, I did end up getting her one of these notebooks for Christmas, and we started filling it in with our trip to Sweden this winter. So she now has her own memory memory journal, but I do kind of wish that I'd started earlier. So there's no age range that you have to wait to start it on. You can start it for your child when they are really little, and then like I said, once they get older and they can read and write for themselves, they can take over and make it whatever they want. So if you are heading out on a trip soon, I challenge you to try this for yourself. Go grab that cheap notebook and just get started. So I hope that you have found this video helpful and that I've inspired you to start recording those family memories, no matter how messy or imperfect it might be. And if you did enjoy this video, we would really appreciate it if you could give this video a like. And if you want to follow along for more family travel inspiration, more family travel tips, please make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you can get notified when we post new videos. Also, if you know somebody else who might enjoy our channel, please feel free to click that share button. And if you want to follow us on Instagram or Facebook, we also have accounts over there at Explorer. So thank you so much for watching today, and we will catch you in the next one.